It was a cop. This entire fiasco was caused by an officer of the law who's there to protect and serve. I'll tell you how, but this is a perfect case of the layout of information, formatting narratives. I'll start from the timeline of March 25th, which is the day of the incident that it happened, all the way to May 8th, which is the day in court. This is how things were revealed to us, and I'm being joined by a guest right now from the dead, Eazy-E? What? How are you resurrected? Why are you here?
Cause the police always got something stupid to say.
I guess that makes sense. So this story begins because we find out Majors has been arrested for domestic violence. Me, a sensible human being, this guy here, he goes, I wonder what happened. I remember even doing videos talking about, now remember guys, of course racism exists, but if we put racism out of the way, these are cops, they're supposed to protect and serve. I remember doing a video like that, right? I never discounted the fact that officers are gonna officer. Majors was cuffed on the spot. That doesn't look good. However, racism, and then you go, well, you know, who knows? He gets arrested, and that's all we know right away. Right after that, maybe a day after the news story breaks, here comes Jonathan Majors' lawyer, issues a statement. Hey, he's not actually guilty. We have the proof. He was the one who called 911 himself. So we find out this a day later, just a day. So in one single day, he's arrested, and then Majors' side comes, actually, we're all good. There's video footage, witness testimony from the driver and others, 2 written statements. The statements show her fully recanting her allegations. They've got a defense. When's the day in court? It's in May? Cool, I can wait until May to make my judgment. That's me, the sensible guy who is me, right? So we're in a period of just like waiting. Cool. You know what happens though? Will Marvel recast? You know what happens though? The army drops him. You know what happens? A bunch of PR firms and things drop him. That's how they reacted. So I'm moving around the timeline. I think it was 5 days after, I guess Majors and his side of the story, they needed to prove his innocence to public opinion. So they gave you the actual evidence. When they said that she recanted her statement, they gave you that. And it was on a text message, and she said she recanted. And what did people decide to do? Well, if somebody was an abuse victim, they would text that way. And they chose to interpret it that way. Of course, it's possible that an abuse victim would respond that way to protect her, the person who has control over her. So it's possible. Okay, I'll give you that. But I also wouldn't be so sure about it either. But that was offered. I go, oh, it looks like she's saying that she's not guilty, or she's saying that he is not guilty. I just don't like how she called it a fight. She should have just said, when I hit you. But she called it a fight. A fight makes it seem like 2 people are going at it. And then she said like it was my fault. And I'm like, that does make it sound like he put his hands on her. But whatever. Nothing is damning. They shouldn't have released that, because as soon as they give that, the text messages were used now against Jonathan Majors. All right, let's go. 3 weeks pass, and now Variety's telling us about how his management dropped him on April 17th. And we jump to April 19th, and now the issues are getting worse. There's more alleged abuse victims to cooperate. They're coming forward, everyone. Listen to the language right over here. Multiple alleged abuse victims have come forward. What does coming forward mean? Well, you could come forward to say he didn't do anything to me. What is abuse? Does not necessarily mean anything physical. And who's letting Variety know about this? Well, sources familiar with the matter. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the DA, but there's definitely a smear happening against Jonathan Majors. His response was epic. This is the headline of the article. Here's a photo of the woman. Security footage showing her at the club after the incident in the taxi cab. He says that, yes, I do have an actual witness of the driver. Here she is again, using her hands. Well, if her hands are injured, do you text? If you are going to the club, you are not actually injured. You don't have a laceration that is debilitating enough to go to the hospital. You don't have strangulation marks. You don't have a broken... You are fine enough to go to the club. So what that does for me, to chillmonger, is goes, oh, Jonathan Majors was innocent. For some reason, the rest of the internet isn't convinced. I don't know why. Maybe, like, how could you make a negative Jonathan Majors story after that comes out? That turns out he actually leaves the car. He says he leaves the car. He says he didn't violate or injure her. And if you go to the club hours afterwards, then you know what it is? It's actually true. That part is true. What he did in the cab, the witness says it wasn't his fault. The witness says that he gets up and leaves, according to Jonathan Majors' side. Now, these parts are allegations and not concrete. But you know what it is? A photo of her, or a digital still image of her in the club, using her hand. This is an open and shut case. He didn't do it. This is so open and shut case. All the noise coming out from that guy A_B_Allen tweeting, ding, ding, ding. This is the guy I was talking about. He's getting all this love and he doesn't deserve it. What does that mean? Because he recanted his statement. He said, no, well, I wasn't actually talking about the physical violence. So I take back my words. All right, useful piece of trash. What about that Tim Nicolai guy claiming that Jonathan Majors is really bad? And he did this right after the arrest. Well, I don't want to speak for other women. It's up to them. But he's a bad guy. Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, Tim Nicolai, let's watch this short from Jonathan Majors, and I wonder who he was talking about.
Did it feel like the system was stacked up against you when you were a kid?
The system's still stacked up against me.
Yeah.
If you take the posters down, you know.
Yeah, you're just going to a store, going to a gas station. The system's not rooting for you.
It's not pro. It's not. Nope. Yeah, it doesn't got my back at all. They will tell you no, you can't play Hamlet, right? Or you can't play Romeo, because you look the way you look. Until you get in that room and you say those words and you make them feel Romeo and you make them feel Hamlet.
I wonder if Tim Nicolai is behind these Hamlet plays. I'm just thinking out loud, but you know who Tim Nicolai and A.B. Allen and the DA never met? The cop.
Fuck the police and Ren said it with authority.
MC Ren is here also. MC Ren, you don't like the police?
Read my rights and shit. It's all junk.
Yeah, and according to this, they were reading him his rights. They saw him and said he was guilty before anything, and they knew what the job was to do. Because we do have some body. This is why I'm speaking so confidently. We do have body cam footage from the police. This is a still image, and we can see her. No lacerations, no redness around her neck. She's wearing Jonathan Majors' clothes. If what Jonathan Majors is saying is true, of that 19 times we asked, hey, are you okay? Did he hurt you? And she keeps telling me, hey, I don't know. But on that 20th time, you coerce her into answering that he put hands on you. If that was the case, we're about to see it here, and we do know that there is video footage of it. When Jonathan Majors make these claims, you know who I'm going to believe? Jonathan Majors, not the other side. Not because Variety said there were alleged victims cooperating with the DA. What does that even mean? Those are not damning words. Alleged, we know what that means. It's just an allegation. And your sources hear this, and the DA declined to comment on it. This is all part of the same Variety article that is empty. Saying that someone is cooperating doesn't mean anything. They could be answering, no, he didn't hit you. No. Did he raise his voice at you at all? No. When you guys were together, did he ever insult you or try to gaslight you? They could be answering no. Those women are cooperating. And it's according to a Variety source. None of that's evidence. You see how empty it is if you want to get at Jonathan Majors? The holes you got to loop through and jump through to try to get him? Oh, MCU, the Marvel Studios needs to recast Kang. I'm sick and tired of hearing that story. You know how little evidence there is to hurt him? This is a woman who was going through it, had a bad night. Allegedly, she took some sleeping pills, mixed it with some drinks. That's not a good idea. I don't recommend that. Everyone don't do that. And what did he do? Housed her, clothed her, dialed 911 for her, seeking medical attention for her. Women, if you guys are afraid of nasty evil men, Majors is not that. Majors is the guy who allegedly got assaulted in the taxi cab from her and just left. He didn't say, you know what, this woman put hands on me, 911, get her, and I have the taxi cab witness to vouch for. He didn't try to hurt her. If anything, this guy's been trying to protect her the whole entire time. Allegedly, you'll see exactly how things play out in court on May 8th. I'm confident. This is me, Chillmonger, the guy with the YouTube videos with 3,000 subscribers. Thank you for helping me reach 3,000. But for all of you guys, this is me right now, saying out on a limb that this man is completely innocent. Completely innocent. She goes to the club afterwards. How do we pretend anymore that he assaulted her if she went to the club afterwards? He's saying that she shows up at his home, passed out, vomiting on the bed. Man, you can prove that. Some photos. There's so much more evidence that could be proved on his side. I got mad at him, obviously, a couple days ago. You guys saw me say, Majors, why are you revealing all this information? Because it's as cool as it is to see this image of her, as cool as it is and saying, aha, he isn't lying, he's telling the truth. As cool as it is, all you're doing is opening it now to public opinion. And then all the people who want Jonathan Majors to be guilty, they're all going to find out, oh, okay, how do we use this against him? They'll make some sort of popular theory. And then like one of those media figures, without naming names, one of those guys will make it public, and then everyone will be like, yeah, the judge will believe that. So what you're doing is you're just empowering the people who want to get you, whether it's the cop.
Fuck the police coming straight from the underground.
Thanks, Ice Cube, for popping in. And guys, I have one more rapper who I have on tap. I'm not so sure how this will go, but Kanye, you wanted to go?
I know every story got two sides. Claiming he paranoid by the black guy. Cop wanna make a home by nighttime.
Okay, Kanye, okay. It's about the cop anyways. There were 3 cops there. Looks like a guy on the right side, there was a guy on the left side, and of course the video was coming from another cop himself. Hope it wasn't black.
Black police showing out for the white cop.
Those really are the worst, Cube. Thank you for being never disappointing, by the way. But when this cop video comes out and we all realize that we're all here because of bad judgment from a guy who saw a black man with a white woman and had all these thoughts running through his head and said, this can't be right. That's that. That's what that'll show. I am so sad that he didn't recognize Jonathan Majors from his movies. It's Marvel's fault, honestly. Disney, guys, no one's watching Loki. Not enough people watched Ant-Man. I mean, he sure wasn't going to go to watch Creed. He wasn't going to support that with his money. And then because of Marvel's failings and this guy not being in a billion-dollar movie, people didn't see him. Didn't realize that was Jonathan Majors. It's all Marvel's fault. See, that's why they didn't fire him yet. They're like, oh, you know, it's kind of our fault. Cops should have known Jonathan Majors. But he felt certainly, he felt the type of way about a white woman being with someone who's not white. And that was a threat to his lineage or whatever. Of course, I'm guessing, I'm assuming this. But like, racism didn't go away 100 years ago. Like, this is still there. When I see Tim Nikolai jumping on him, and I see the Officer Friendly jumping on him, and I see the DA jumping on him. And what's funny is I used to actually look at the woman like, oh man, it's kind of her fault. How could she speak so loosely? No, she was taken advantage of. According to Jonathan Majors, this woman was she was not in the right state of mind, and they got her to say something that didn't happen, according to Majors, and according to this taxi cab footage we're going to see where nothing happened. But I'm past the taxi cab footage of seeing whether something or nothing happened. If this body cam footage shows me him coercing her to say, so he choked you, right? It was a choke, and for her to go, oh, yeah, I can feel a little sore. All right, you have the right to remain silent, everything you say. Like, if that's what this video is going to show us, Candace, what happens? Oh yeah, he's busted, Candace? How are you so sure about it?
My eyes are wide to all your lies, 'cause you're not that discreet.
Wasn't discreet at all. He has a video on him, so I hope we get to see it, and it's plain as day with him either speaking and saying, hey look, say this, say that, or maybe another officer's camera footage is on, and now it's showing you him mimicking, you gotta say that he choked you, you gotta, but I just hope that it is just a smoking gun. And that's what I'm looking at now. It is so believable that the cops started this off. You guys want to disagree with me? The worst you can say is, you know, Chillmonger, we should wait until May 8th because that's when the evidence comes out. And that was what I was saying before I got to see these screenshots. The text messages and everything will show you exactly how innocent he is and how she actually went to the club. And if she goes to the club, that is enough for me to say, and it's enough for you also to say, I guess he didn't put the beats on her. If you guys value police arrests, I need you to rethink this thing. Police are corrupt human beings, or police can be corrupt human beings. Not every single cop is corrupt. Just the majority of cops are corrupt and are willing to go to these lengths. A police officer can hurt you if they want to hurt you, and that was never not an option over here on the Chillmonger channel. After this footage shows you that this guy actually started it, you should be able to say, oh, okay, the police arrests, I shouldn't believe police arrests are an admission of or certification of guilt and wrongdoing, because you know what? Police arrest people who don't need to be arrested all the time. A guy did not call 911 on himself. Black men in New York City with the New York City Police Department don't say, you know what? These are friendly people. They'll have an understanding. They'll give me the benefit of any doubt. It was a big risk he took for her safety to involve 911. Hitting those 3 numbers consecutively is a big deal for him to do. And rather than celebrating him for taking care of her, we didn't celebrate him. A lot of us came on here to cast him over again, to make videos of how it looks bad, to make it seem like an arrest is bad, to make it seem like, oh, she went to the hospital, you know, that's bad. Maybe it's just a protocol that she's got to go to the hospital. Maybe the DA of not excusing the case right away and saying we'll come back on May 8th, maybe that's because the DA is in on this too, and the DAs and the police department are in the same bed. They're on the same team, guys. Understand that. I am so upset at every YouTube video who is damning Jonathan Major, or at least not even giving him a fair shot. Much love to all the fair YouTube critics who exist out there, people on Twitter who are actually saying, no, let's wait. But right now, it's over. Jonathan Majors is good. The DA is looking at X's to try to find something. Why? If the video of the taxi cab is enough, why is this DA trying to find a violent history of him being an abuser? Shouldn't you have enough evidence with just the taxi cab footage? Maybe that Tim Nikolai guy started something, and I'm not a fan of that guy. I'm not a fan of the cop. I'm not a fan of the DA at all. It is all a conspiracy. It is all teamwork. Jonathan Majors is innocent. He did not do anything to her extreme enough for her to be going to the club. Guys, think about that. She went to the club. I rest my case. Candace rests her case. The NWA rests their case. Kanye West rests. Nas, you were on that song. Can you say something smart?
Reminds me of Emmett Till. Let's remind them why Cap kneels.
Yes. Now, if you've changed your mind after watching this video, congratulations. You make a lot more sense right now. If you're still upset about Jonathan Majors still needs to go to court, we gotta see what happened. There's nothing that you're going to see that proves that Jonathan Majors did enough wrongdoing. She went to the club right afterwards. But keep telling on yourselves, everybody. I'm Chillmonger. Thumbs up the video. Share the video, because there's not enough of these YouTube videos with this thumbnail that are going to be like this happy about the whole Jonathan Majors situation. I think that there's substantial evidence that this is just the public knowledge that we know about. They may have some more. We're going to see that police video. But there's enough evidence right now that exists to tell me, the fan who likes this character in Marvel, the fan who likes the actor and wants this to be a successful future, there's enough for me to rest assured Jonathan Majors is not guilty.